Hi there friends, it's Chris, and for this video, let's learn how to do pastel work. So I'm going to be just watching several downloaded videos here on my tablet. The video thumbnails are still loading. Yeah, there. So I'm gonna post probably a screenshot of all of these videos that I downloaded, and then later on we'll be working on a piece, and I'll be sharing what I've learned from the different videos that I've watched. So let's get into it.
Sheets is like about $8, so it's a really affordable.
Alright, so friends, I just finished midway of watching a video created by Monet Cafe, and she featured some different basic techniques that one can do using pastels. And great thing about her video is that um, she did not emphasize too much on the products that were used, and the products that she mentioned was not that intimidatingly expensive. She just used a sanded, not even a sanded surface, but a black type of paper, and she emphasized a lot on techniques, and these are a few of those techniques that she mentioned in her video. And I must say, I did learn a lot of different ways wherein we can work with our pastels. I love using the side of it to pick up the texture of the pastel paper, and then you can make your marks on the part where you erased, and that's absolutely I must say it's very unique to pastels. It's very unique to the pastel medium, and I think it's not a huge thing done when you use colored pencils or watercolors. If I can remember, it's the closest thing that I can relate this one to is as if you're using the dry brush technique. But that's one video lesson on pastels done. Let's watch a few more videos and see some techniques that we can learn from them. Okay, so now I just watched several shorts and videos and incorporating what I learned from Monet Cafe, and I created this simple landscape of lavenders on a meadow with a tree in it and a sky background. Okay, so after a quick watch through of that video a while ago, I tried to apply some of the techniques that I learned using the pastel sticks, especially with how I created the grass and some of the impressionistic shapes. And right now, I'm happy that it's a step above what I usually do, or with zero knowledge when it comes to doing pastels. But I know that there's still a lot I can learn, and hopefully in the next video that I'll be watching, I could follow along. By the way, the one that I'm using right now is a Bauhong Rough Press watercolor block, and it feels like a sanded surface to me. So I chose this as one of those that I try to practice on. The Meton's touch are still on the way to me, so we'll see. I'm just gonna let this dry a bit and maybe grab a snack while watching a few more videos. Then I'll come back here on the desk to try a bit more art attempts of using pastels. So this is how the table's looking so far. When it comes to the different supplies that I've been using, I've been rotating it around. I have most of my pastel sticks here on the drawer of my easel, and then I have my carbocellos. I just put it on my floor. So we'll see what else we can do after a while. Alright, so friends, this is day 2 of me trying to learn how to work with pastel pencils and soft pastels, and I just finished watching several videos of preparing a homemade pastel paper, because the one that I tried, the one with the sandpaper, did not work the best, I think, when it comes to using soft pastels, since there's just too deep of grooves there on sandpapers that it wastes too much of my pastels. Plus, it just becomes muddy at the end since it's too dark, black, and the grooves are too deep. Plus, it just hurts when I blend with my fingertips. Not gonna lie about that. And last clip that I showed you was me working on a coarse-grained watercolor paper, which worked pretty nicely, I should say. It worked well for my learnings and purposes, but I want to try a different approach. So I watched videos of how to prepare pastel papers from scratch at home or how to create your own pastel papers basically. And I stumbled upon this video of Monet Cafe, and then it led me to a rabbit hole on pastel grounds. See, this is a tub of pastel grounds from the company Golden, which makes the Golden paints and core watercolors, and they're highly regarded and very much have a positive reputation for their paints. So I'm excited about that. And right now I plan to transform this. This is the Magnani Portofino 100% cold press watercolor paper, and we're going to use the golden pastel ground on this surface, just to try to create and turn it into a pastel paper. So I have some other materials that I've prepared, some water, a bowl where I can place my pastel grounds in, a plastic craft knife or palette knife, and then a brush for applying the pastel grounds that I'm dampening in the water now. And then for fun, Monet Cafe tints her watercolor paper or her surface with the pastel grounds using a acrylic color. I plan to try out a nickel azo yellow color. This one is from Magello Mission Gold. This is green gold. So I seen other videos supplementing Monet Cafe's video, including Jason Morgan, and some other videos discussing on how to make homemade pastel paper. So we'll try that. So I'm going to open now this tub. Oh, she just flushed. Okay. So I am now applying the pastel grounds using my Taklon brush from Montmart, and I am watering it down with some water and then mixing it in to the lower portion with the nickel azo yellow. First layer is done. Alright, so it's gotten a few minutes to dry, and after touching it, it feels like it feels just chalky, but I think every bit of it needs one more layer. So I am once again applying another coating to all of the panels here. One with the full media, the other one diluted with a bit of water. Then the bottom two tinted with my watercolor. Then on the last portion, as I waited for it to dry, I thought of adding another third layer to this one. Now, as I was letting this paper dry, I really just couldn't help myself but be impatient. So I tried to work on the métiers on this drawing or painting that I have, and I used several pastel media, including pan pastels, pencils, and I'm blending it out every now and then. And as the intentions were originally cool, because I am trying to incorporate what I've learned from watching a video by Dave Porter's, it wasn't blending the way that I see how Dave does his work. So at some point I got frustrated with it, that I just decided to pause the project. But so basically, guys, this is a throwaway project, but I really wanted to be productive while waiting for the sanded surface to dry, so I forced myself to try and finish this project. I put it to the side, but maybe one day I get to finish this drawing. So just when I was rage quitting on that drawing, I checked up on my paper that was drying, and it was looking okay until this happened. Also, guys, when you're applying your different coats of your pastel grounds on your paper, wait for it to turn chalky bone dry, like a dried gouache, because when it's still shiny like this, or some of its parts are still thick and kind of glossy, that means that it's yet to dry. So do not touch it, because otherwise this happens. And I don't know how to feel about that, but you know what, this is what we're working with right now, and it's taken quite some time for it to dry down, not gonna lie. I started with this project at around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's now about to be 8. So I think when you want to work in pastel and you want to use the different pastel grounds, then it's best if you prepare your surface the morning before you start working on your projects, if you plan to do double coating of it, or plan it a day ahead. Or right now, based on my experience, I think it's okay to just damp your sponge or your whatever tool you're using and use that directly on the pastel ground and then apply it on your surface, because if you use or if you add water to it, it takes ages to dry, and it's just far too long for me to wait. If you add water, it takes even more time for it to dry. So that's one thing that I've learned, and I'll just let this all dry overnight, and tomorrow we'll work and try to do our other art pieces. And I'm going to be watching some videos from the virtual instructor, and some search words that I'll be using are easy beginner pastel soft pastel tutorials, and we'll follow those different videos. So I hope you join me tomorrow for probably the last day of this quick crash course of mine in learning pastels. Alrighty, so friends, it's the next day, and the textures from last night's experimentation left me with one conclusion, and that's, I think using it straight up from the tub with just a little bit of water is the best way to use the pastel grounds. And now we proceed. First thing that I'm doing is based off this tutorial from Monet Cafe, of course. And it involves simply just creating a thumbnail and just going with your heart on a simple landscape. And I'm working without a reference, so I'm just working a guessing game on this one, and I enjoyed working on this one. Now, this next piece is just another quick sketch anchored on a tutorial by the virtual instructor. And this one, I tried to redeem myself in drawing portraits using pastels from yesterday, and I watched more on Alan Pickard's as well as Dave's. I still couldn't get doing it great, but this is what I come up with when it comes to the drawing. And I added black pastel for the backgrounds. For the last one, I watched Matt, the virtual instructor's drawing of a realistic eye through pastels, but I'm not working once again with a reference photo. I'm just working with how I feel, and at least I'm a bit more confident with this one. Alright friends, so after a few days of working with pastels, I had a lot of insights about using this media, and in fact, I've learned so much and I gained a new appreciation for this wonderful medium. One of the things that I realized in using pastels is like you're working with gouache, albeit in a more convenient format. It gets rid of the fuss of needing a brush, bucket of water, and your palette, and instead you just use these pencils and sticks in creating your marks on your paper. I guess there's no surprise when a lot of pastel artists call their art pieces as paintings rather than just drawings, even if it's a dry media. As you can see here now, the four drawings and paintings that I was able to create demonstrates a sort of progression with watching different videos. So a few things that I've learned aside from its feeling is that sanded surfaces could really help you out with using this wonderful medium. The medians are nice to get to learn things too, but you can optimize and maximize the full potential of using the pastel media if you use a sanded surface. And as of this moment, I am going to be a huge advocate for buying pastel grounds, which is going to be a more economic way for you to start learning and working on pastels. I mean, if you're able to afford sanded surfaces or you have it easily accessible where you are, then that's good. But if, like me, sanded papers are difficult to come by, then the pastel grounds are an absolute godsend for you to have in your arsenal while learning how to use the different pastel products. But if all you have now are pastel papers, similar now to what I just purchased, this Mitiens pastel, which is basically the Mitiens, but it's just packaged this way, then make the most out of the materials that you have. And in fact, best thing to do when you are trying to learn a new media is just go for it. Don't be afraid to fail, and you just have to enjoy the process. One last takeaway from this mini experiment that I did trying to learn a new media is that YouTube is an amazing platform to learn so much from amazing artists. Because of this project, I have met Monet Cafe, who's now terming her as my mom when it comes to using soft pastels. You have also the amazing artists Seamus, Alan Pickard, and others that I'll be linking on the description. And the playlist of Trying to Learn Pastels, I'll be preparing the playlist of it maybe within the coming days, and I'll be posting it as public to my channel so that you can use these different content creators and teachers with their content in trying to learn more of this media. And I hope that you enjoy this video. At the end of the day, this is for you guys to sort of entertain you, at the same time to share my journey, but primarily also to encourage those who are hesitant or who have given up hope in learning few media, that there will always be a way for you to improve from zero to at least something that you could say and be proud of and call art. So anyway, that's it. That's gonna be it for this video. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, your week, your month, your year. I wish you all the love, and as always, peace. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day.